In today's world, most of us feel like we can go almost anywhere we want. You often see individuals or families moving freely around the country or even around the world. However, there are several places scattered across the globe that are not so freely accessible and are completely off limits to virtually everyone. Today, we'll take a look at everything from mystical islands to forbidden military facilities that you are forbidden from setting foot on. Let us know one forbidden place that you'd like to visit, or even somewhere that no human has ever been able to check out yet. Be it Mars or Snake Island, let us know in the comments. Grass as far as the eye can see. Back in 2011, a large hemp plantation was discovered that spanned more than 120 acres of land. The plantation was found deep in Mexico near the California border, almost reaching into the United States. The entire plantation had been covered in black fabric, hiding the plants from anyone who may have been passing overhead. It seems like this disguise worked well for many years, and no one knew about this plantation after all this time. In the end, the farm was discovered by the Mexican military and was promptly shut down. According to investigators, some of the plants reached nearly 8 feet tall. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island has been home to an elusive tribe of humans for around 60,000 years. At least, that's how long researchers assume the tribe has been here. Truthfully, we don't know for sure. This tribe has had virtually no contact with the outside world for all of this time, and the Indian government has grown to be very protective over the indigenous people. There's been a law enacted that forbids modern humans from stepping foot on the island, fearing that modern humans may bring disease to the tribesmen and potentially wipe them out. There's also a fear that the inverse will happen, and that the tribe may expose us to diseases that could spawn another worldwide pandemic. Isle Grand Shrine. There's a temple located in Japan that's completely closed off to the public. Only members of the imperial family are allowed to enter. The Isle Grand Shrine was built for the sun goddess Amaterasu Omikami, and the interior of the shrine is completely rebuilt every 20 years to align with the Japanese idea of rebirth. As it stands, no member of the public has ever seen the inside of the shrine, as Japanese tradition and religion strictly forbids it. Only one member of the family is allowed to be the guardian over the temple, with this being one of the most secretive places on Earth. Poveglia. There are many theories about the history of Poveglia, but we don't know for sure what may be true and what stories have been manufactured over the years. The only thing we know for sure is that the island used to be home to countless people who suffered from the plague in the late 1700s. As we know, most of these people have now passed away, leading to rumors that a large portion of the soil on this island is made up of human remains. Napoleon is also known to have used the island to stash many of his weapons, believing that the island was so small that no one would ever think to look there. Finally, a mental hospital was opened on the island in the 1900s, but it was closed just 40 years later. It has remained largely untouched ever since. MENWITH Hill Royal Air Force Station. Back in 1954, the British War Department bought 550 acres of land and leased them to the United States. This marked the beginning of the MENWITH Hill Royal Air Force Base. This is believed to be one of the most mysterious plots of land in all of Britain. We don't know much about the base, other than it was originally used for espionage and other intelligence activities during the time of the Cold War. Today, only certain spies and members of the NSA are allowed to enter the base. Everyone else is strictly forbidden. We have no idea what sorts of government activities may be going on here today, and we probably don't want to know. Svalbard Global Seed Vault. I'm sure we've all heard of the famous seed vault that's located in Norway. This seed vault was built into the side of the mountain with walls so thick, dense, and indestructible that many people believe the vault could outlive a nuclear war or an atomic bomb. Inside of this vault, seeds from virtually every plant in the world have been stored in a deep freezer, so that in the event of a doomsday scenario, we could repopulate the Earth with new plants and once again resume life as usual. Well, to a certain extent. No one is allowed inside of this vault for fear of contaminating the seeds that are stored within. Metro 2. We don't know much at all about this secret track, but it has been rumored that Stalin built Metro 2 at the beginning of the Cold War. This was done so that he could easily connect many major government buildings, including buildings from Moscow, the Kremlin, the Federal Security Service, and the airport. Metro 2 is known to consist of just a single track, making all these connections possible. If the rumors are true, and they certainly seem to be, this would mean that certain members of the government could travel to many different locations without ever stepping foot outdoors. Kind of creepy when you really think about it. The Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove has been shrouded in mystery since it was first discovered by the outside world. We don't know anything about what goes on inside this secret club area, but it's believed that many members of the government, as well as many major Hollywood actors, go here to converse and share ideas about the state of the world. We know that political parties make no difference here, and that it's considered to be a neutral ground for elite society members from all walks of life to meet up and share their thoughts and ideas. However, there have been many rumors and video evidence that claim that Bohemian Grove could also be the home of an elusive cult that may practice terrifying misdeeds, possibly even human sacrifice. Robins Island. Just off the coast of New York lies Robins Island. This island measures about 435 acres and is said to be one of the most private islands in the world, being completely closed off to the public. The history of the island leaves a lot of unanswered questions, but these days it's privately owned and serves as a nature reserve in one of the world's most protected areas. The owner of the island is known to have spent heaps of money keeping the island protected and rehabilitating it by planting oak trees and various types of grass. It's believed that the island is home to all sorts of endangered animals, with some of the healthiest turtles in New York State living here. Fort Knox. Fort Knox is widely believed to be one of the most highly secured places on Earth. This is where the United States government stores a lot of their gold and precious metals, and it's believed that thousands of tons, maybe even millions, of valuable objects are housed within the walls of Fort Knox. We know the building is under strict lockdown and can only be accessed by authorized people, but we don't know exactly what security measures have been put in place. It's possible there are laser beams and teams of armed ninja fighters who will take down anyone who tries to enter. The truth is, we just don't know. But the government is very adamant that Fort Knox will never be infiltrated by enemy forces. Tomb of Qin Shi Huang. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang was only discovered in 1974, and it's believed to be one of the most highly guarded tombs ever created. This is the tomb of one of China's first emperors, and the grave is guarded by thousands of clay soldiers that were carefully crafted and placed inside. Aside from this, there are various traps and even a river filled with mercury that prevents anyone from getting through to access the body of the long-lost emperor. We don't know what sort of booby traps may lie in wait, but researchers continue to do their best to unearth the tomb each and every day. Woomera Test Range. The Woomera Test Range is the largest land-based shooting range in the world. It measures about 122,000 square kilometers, making it larger than the entire country of Portugal. We don't know exactly what takes place at this shooting range, but we know that it's used by Australia and its many allies to test out many new types of weapon systems before sending them into the military arsenal. Bombs are dropped all the time, as are missiles and other terrifying weapons. The testing range is highly guarded, and only authorized personnel are allowed to enter. There are no visitors allowed on the testing grounds at any point, ever. The Lascaux Cave. The Lascaux Cave is a prehistoric cave that was only recently discovered back in 1940. What makes the cave so interesting and unbelievable is that it's filled with more than 600 cave paintings. On top of this, it's estimated that there are about 1,500 etchings as well, and a number of other figures and drawings scattered throughout. Some of these paintings show animals, such as horses that are 10 feet tall. Others show animals in places that have been gone for more than 20,000 years. Sadly, visitors have begun to deteriorate the paintings and etchings from the oils on their skin, so the cave is now closed off to all of humanity. Vatican Secret Archives. The Vatican Secret Archives is known to house some of the most important information regarding the history of mankind. Many of the items contained here pertain to biblical history, but we know the archives are also home to many other historical items that have been locked away, far out of reach of modern man. This keeps the items safe and secluded while ensuring that they'll last for many years to come. Only a handful of people in the world are allowed to request to view some of these items, but nothing is allowed to leave the premises, and photography is often strictly prohibited. Surtsey Island. Surtsey Island is believed to be one of the youngest islands in world history. It was only created back in 1965 and is said to be completely off limits to anyone except geologists. There isn't anything on the island that's particularly dangerous. However, the island has remained completely untouched by humans for almost its entire existence. This means that the plants and animals that live there are some of the only examples we have that may show what Earth and Mother Nature would look like if human pollution were no longer a factor. North Brother Island. North Brother Island is home to the Riverside Hospital, rather what's left of it. New York purchased the island way back in 1885 and planned on erecting one of the largest hospitals ever built. The hospital would eventually be used to house patients with terrible, incurable diseases like tuberculosis, yellow fever, smallpox, and many others. During World War II, the hospital was used to house veterans and heroin addicts, but it has now been left abandoned and has been untouched for decades. Heard Island. Heard Island is completely off limits to humans, and the government wants to keep it that way. The island is super dangerous, and it's said that at least 2 active volcanoes live on the island. It's also home to Australia's highest mountain and houses a number of large glaciers. Considering how dangerous mainland Australia is, if the Australian government tells you to keep away, you should probably do as you're told. Area 51. Yes, we all know about Area 51. The base has been shrouded in mystery for decades and can be found in the United States. Officially, this is nothing more than a military base. However, locals have reported seeing all sorts of strange lights, sounds, and aircraft floating around, leading to many rumors that the base may actually be home to some sort of highly advanced alien technology. Snake Island. Snake Island has become one of the most popular secluded locations in modern history. The island is known to be home to some of the most venomous snakes in the world, and the species often run rampant on the island. The golden lancehead snake can be found here by the thousands, as well as many different types of vipers and other snakes. These animals can kill you with little warning and will leave you within inches of your life in less than a few minutes. This is not an island you want to be seen on. Disney Club 33. Disneyland is a magical place, but there's one area of Disney where no one is allowed: Club 33. This is one of the most secretive and highly coveted clubs known to man, with only a few hand-selected people being allowed to enter. It was designed by Walt Disney himself as a place to relax, and he only ever invited the best of the best to join the club with him, with many of his guests often being high-ranking politicians or movie stars. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.